Hi and welcome back to Cut the Craggle. Do you know what is the most important thing in the entire Star Wars universe? More important than blasters, lightsabers, or starships? Helmets. That's right, helmets. They're everywhere. Who even are you in the Star Wars galaxy if you haven't got a helmet? Nobody, that's who. Recently, LEGO have launched a new helmet collection with 3 sets recreating the iconic helmets of the Stormtroopers, TIE Fighter pilots, and the infamous bounty hunter, Boba Fett. Which got me thinking, what other helmets could they make into LEGO sets? Here are my top 10 LEGO Star Wars helmet sets we need next. Number 10. First appearing in Episode 2 Attack of the Clones, the original Clone Trooper helmets deliberately incorporated features of both the Boba Fett and Stormtrooper armour. Design director Doug Chan wanted to acknowledge the vague assertion in Star Wars lore that Fett's armour was connected to those of the Stormtroopers. In the original backstory, the Mandalorians had been all but wiped out by the Jedi. Jango was all that remained, and part of the reason he agreed to be cloned was because he saw Order 66 as his chance to get revenge on the religious fanatics that had slain his brethren. The Phase 1 Clone Trooper gear is often overlooked for the much more popular Phase 2 configuration, but personally, I prefer the Phase 1 as it is much more distinctive from the Imperial Stormtrooper design. Number 9. So far, LEGO have only made helmet sets that are completely closed off. It's certainly not impossible that LEGO could make helmets with an open area at the front, but it would probably mean significant changes to the current format to tweak the stand build. If they did, then I'd love to see Luke Skywalker's Rebel helmet that he first wore while piloting his X-Wing in the Battle of Yavin. He's the main protagonist of the original trilogy, and he carries this helmet with him through all 3 of those movies, and it even appears again in Rise of Skywalker. The coloured markings would look amazing in LEGO, and it would be really interesting to see how they would tackle the trans orange visor. Number 8. Scout Troopers or Biker Scouts first popped up on the Forest Moon of Endor in Return of the Jedi, but have gained renewed interest thanks to an hilarious appearance in the Disney Plus show The Mandalorian. The Scout Trooper helmets have a really interesting shape to them, especially this kind of cap design over the visor that looks a bit like a 70s motocross helmet. Wait, how am I only now noticing that it has the Stormtrooper mouth design on its nose? Behind the scenes, a different costume design team took over for Jedi, which could explain why the Scout Trooper has a much more square or blocky look to it than the curved Imperial helmets from the first 2 movies. But it's still instantly recognisable as being from the Stormtrooper family, and it's been a clear source of inspiration for several other additions to the Empire's ranks. Number 7. LEGO of course have already made a set based on the original trilogy era Imperial Stormtrooper helmet, but if they make sets in this series based on the sequel trilogy, they're bound to make a First Order Stormtrooper. Unfortunately, the new design is much more minimalistic. The busy details have been massively toned down in favour of a cleaner, almost Apple Store motif. I'm not hating on the First Order helmets in the movies, I just think it could make for a boring LEGO set, being both too simple and too similar to the existing Stormtrooper helmet set. What could really make this stand out is if LEGO actually made this based on a named character, FN2187, otherwise known as Finn. When we first meet Finn in The Force Awakens, he rushes to one of his fellow Stormtroopers that has just been shot by Poe Dameron. Yep, that's right, Finn's new best friend murdered his old best friend. As the other Stormtrooper dies, they reach out and smear a bloody handprint across the face of Finn's helmet. Having the handprint in red across the white would really pop and make this helmet stand out on a shelf or display. The only reason I can see LEGO not making this is their unwritten no blood rule, but that is a tradition they have started to break recently, so it's not impossible that we may see this set. Number 6. This entry was honestly a toss-up between the Shore Trooper and Death Trooper. Both made their first appearance in Rogue One. Both have great designs, putting a fresh new spin on the existing Imperial helmet designs from the original trilogy. What made me settle on the Shore Trooper though is the colour. A lot of Star Wars helmets are either black or white. Heck, now I think about it, my first 4 choices have all had a white base. Whereas the Shore Trooper armour is in much more of a sand-like colour. You know, because they're at the beach. So, sand, right? Number 5. Full disclosure, I'm still working my way through the Clone Wars show and intend to watch Rebels after that, so I don't know much about this character, but damn, is that helmet sweet looking. I really wanted to include a Mandalorian helmet in this list. I know we already got Boba Fett in the first wave, so as much as my heart wants a Jango Fett helmet, I know that's very unlikely as it would essentially be just a recolor. Din Djarin is probably more likely with how popular the show is, but even that is pretty similar. Sabine's helmet is stunningly different, while still recognisable as being Mandalorian in its design. The colours are beautiful, and that pattern on the top would look spectacular in brick form. Her visor also has this distinct curve shape to it, so the build would have to be different from the Boba helmet to accomplish that. There is rumoured to be a sequel series to Rebels in the works. I don't know if Sabine is going to be in that, but it could be good timing for LEGO to release this as a set to coincide with that. Number 4. Without a doubt, the best character in the Disney sequel trilogy, Ben Solo, wore this imposing mask when he turned to the dark side and became Kylo Ren. Unlike his grandfather, Ben did not need his helmet to breathe, and in The Last Jedi, he destroys the helmet after being mocked by Snoke as a child play acting as Vader. This move was controversial to say the least, and in Rise of Skywalker, the helmet is reforged using Zorazian iron. If LEGO do make a set of Kylo Ren's helmet, I think basing it on its appearance from Episode 9 would definitely be the way to go. The striking red lines cutting through the black would really give it a formidable presence. Number 3. It might surprise you, but this was honestly the first thing I thought of when considering what other Star Wars helmets LEGO could make. Bosch was originally created for Return of the Jedi, when Princess Leia disguised herself as a bounty hunter to infiltrate Jabba's palace. The different colours and distinctive shaping would make for both a great looking LEGO set and an interesting build. Despite only appearing on screen for a few minutes, Bosch's unique mask left a lasting impression on me when I first watched Return of the Jedi as a child, and to this day remains one of my favourite bounty hunter helmets. Number 2. Going into this, I knew there were 2 things I absolutely had to include in my list: a Phase 2 Clone Trooper helmet, and a 501st Soldier. Otherwise, I'd face the wrath of a million upset LEGO Star Wars fans. I'm shooting 2 Womp Rats with 1 blaster bolt here with Captain Rex. He's fast become a favourite of mine, and he reminds me a lot of Alpha 17 from the Dark Horse Clone Wars comics. Apparently, Dave Filoni had initially wanted to make Alpha the prime clone character in the show, but George Lucas objected because there were already too many characters with names beginning with A. Rex's helmet has such a cool design. He has the standard blue markings of the 501st, but also these distinct painted yay guys above his visor. His Phase 2 helmet is actually a hybrid blend of modified Phase 1 armour with Phase 2 gear, complete with visible weld marks. All these different unique details would really make for a fantastic looking set. Number 1. Could there really be any other option for number 1? He's easily the most iconic villain in cinematic history, and the most important character of the entire Star Wars mythos. But did you know, the original design for Darth Vader's costume did not even include a helmet? The idea that Vader should wear a breathing apparatus was first proposed by concept artist Ralph McQuarrie. In the opening scene where the Empire captured the Tantive 5, McQuarrie envisioned Vader and his soldiers boarding the blockade runner by moving through the vacuum of space, and he suggested that Vader should wear some sort of spacesuit. Lucas agreed, and McQuarrie combined a full-face breathing mask with a samurai helmet, thus creating one of the most iconic designs ever committed to film. LEGO did just produce a Darth Vader bust set in 2019. That's probably why LEGO didn't release Darth Vader with the first wave of helmet sets. But it would be inconceivable for them not to make the most important Star Wars helmet of them all in the future. What LEGO Star Wars helmet sets would you like to see next? Let me know in the comments below. don't forget to like, and if you haven't already, be a hero and hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Laters.